a conservative voice on radio for many years, and if you've not been listening to her, you need to. She's a woman of integrity, she's inspiring, she is a true conservative voice. So she's here today, she's going to kick us off, and I'd like to welcome Sandy Rios, everybody!
Thank you, Deb. Thank you very much, and thanks for that great song. You know, Joliet's not a strange place to me because years ago, I just have to say, my daughter attended the United Cerebral Palsy Foundation here in Joliet. It was a wonderful gift to me and my family. All right, so let me ask you, are you better off than you were $4 trillion ago? Osama and Obama both have friends who bombed the Pentagon. Obamacare, the efficiency of the DMV and the compassion of the IRS. Stop government waste. Abolish Congress. Fight socialism. Buy a Ford. Barack Obama, a new chapter in American history, Chapter 13. I thought you'd enjoy that. Just a little way to start. I actually want to say that 234 years ago, a core of American citizens, just like you and me, pledged their lives and their fortunes to break free of the bondage of taxes and regulations and the tyrant known as King George. They signed their name on the dotted line, knowing full well it was no exercise in penmanship, but a commitment to establish freedom once for all in their land. They won their freedom, and ours too. And for generations, Americans have worked hard, worshipped freely, developed the natural resources of this beautiful land, explored the boundaries of space, engineered, designed, and created things fantastic and beyond imagination in science, medicine, technology. We've invented cars and computers and technologies and fantastic devices, developed organizational skills and structure based on the perfect blending of law and freedom. Americans have felt free to pursue their gifts, their dreams, and have lived and died by their own ingenuity. And by the way, religious freedom has flourished because America's religious foundation, Christianity, is by its nature a faith exercised in free will, not born of birth or obligation, but of choice. And it's with this foundation that the early Jews and then later members of all the world religions found a place and a sanctuary and not punishment for their unique religious conscience. Freedom is the foundation of strong religious faith. It's the foundation of strong economic growth, and it's the foundation for the release of human ingenuity and energy. And America hasn't just used that strength for herself. She has welcomed the world's people yearning to be free. Many of us are descendants of those people, aren't we? She has used her prosperity and the strength of her character applied to military might. She has used her prosperity and the strength of her character applied to military might to protect and defend nations all over the world. Not as conquerors, but as warriors handing out chocolates to little children, offering hope and peace, building up where we have made war, making friends and allies of our enemies, sending unbelievable amounts of money and human treasure to aid in tragedies, build hospitals, feed the hungry, fight the disease, and there has never been a country like America. Never. I was in Ottawa, Canada. I was speaking in Ottawa at the Canadian Parliament a number of years ago, and in the crowd was a person who came over to me and said, "Sandy, if America fails, where else will the world turn? Who else will take its place as the beacon of hope and life?" I was shocked because Canadians generally are not complimentary to Americans, and especially during that time. But you know what? That Canadian was not the only one who feels that way. When I open the phone lines, I'm on AM 1160 3 to 5. When we talk about the problems that are going on in the nation, my phone lights up with former citizens of Eastern Europe, of Nazi Germany, of Cuba, and they are filled with absolute dismay to think that their newfound love in a country could be going the way of their old country. Even the Germans, once our enemies, and who up until recently, under the other chancellors, really hated our government. Things have changed. Let me show you. Speak up. Let me do this. Can I take this off? Doesn't take much to make you cheer, but I'll see if I can give you a little bit more than that. All right, well, even the Germans, who have not been our friends, you know, for a long time. Angela Merkel is their relatively new leader, and she was raised in East Germany. And Der Spiegel tells a story that I read just this week. The title is "A Wall Separates Merkel and the Land of Her Dreams." And it goes on to say that she was in Washington in November of 2009, and she was asked to give an address to the Congress. Listen to this. This is very un-German, if you know anything about Deutschland. They're the ones that slap your hands when you're trying to pick out vegetables in the grocery store. Congress, a rare honor. Something happened to her that almost never happens. She swallowed. She had a lump in her throat, and it rendered her speechless for a few moments. She was excited because this speech meant a lot to her. She stood up in front of the assembled U.S. representatives and senators and said that because of the Berlin Wall, America had long been the land of unlimited opportunity for her. I had to create my own picture of the United States from films and books, some of which were smuggled in from the West by relatives. I was passionate about the American dream, the opportunity for everyone to be successful, to make it in life through their own personal effort. Ladies and gentlemen, when the Chancellor of Germany can weep at the thought of the greatness of America, while the American president can only apologize and express shame for its alleged evil, what does that tell you? It tells you that this president should never have been elected. It tells you that he does not love this country like you do, or like I do, or even like the Chancellor of Germany does. Could an enemy do more to dismantle and destroy our nation? His mentors from the earliest years were leftist, from his mother and father to his communist mentor, Frank Marshall Davis. I invite anyone to look this up. We don't have to exaggerate. It's just that bad. Barack Obama has never been enamored with the America he really doesn't know. The hero of his mentors was the Soviet Union. Why else would he bargain away our nuclear power to Russia, an entity far past its prime, except for the romanticism that comes with being raised with Marxist ideals? Why else would he implement economic policies that create and sustain unemployment, institute unsustainable debt, reward non-contributors, and punish the ambitious? Why else would he dismantle the world's greatest medical system, dooming healthcare to mediocrity, medical innovation and research to a standstill, hamstring the nation's space exploration, prevent true exploration of our energy supply, implement crippling cap and trade policies to further break our economic backs, all the while feigning he's doing just the opposite? Ladies and gentlemen,